So, what can I do for you? Did you want to, do you have some specific questions, or did you want to look at anything on the review, or what you got?
So I have three questions. I actually have questions this week.
Okay.
So one, whenever I was working on project one, I came into an issue when I initially did my first trial balance with regards to the May salaries payment.
Okay.
Um, and I think I found the answer to it, but I just wanted to verify that when you have a payment that is going into salaries payable from a previous period, it gets recorded in um the salaries the salaries expense from that period, and in the new period it only affects the salaries payable and cash when it gets paid,
Correct.
as long as
So,
there's no other payment for those salaries going on.
right. So you're saying that this was like probably the previous entry was an adjusting entry at the end of the previous month where
Right.
you put salaries expense and salaries payable to
Yes.
recognize you had incurred the cost of those salaries up to the end of the month, but weren't going to pay them until the next payday, which was going to be in the new financial period, right?
Right.
Yeah. So then you get to payday and you're going to have this, usually you're going to have this compound entry where you debit the salaries payable,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll probably debit some more salaries expense for any salary expense incurred from the first of the month up until payday.
Right. That
And then
was,
you'll and then
yeah.
you'll credit cash for the total amount, which would be
y-
paying yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on the right track, is what you're saying.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay.
I'm looking at it here just so you can see it instead of me just describing it.
Yep.
Um, I'm looking at it right now. Salaries, payable, cash. Okay, so yeah, the way they have this one done in the whoa, that was weird. Hold on. I'm gonna break something. The way they have this one done, like in the project, or what was it? What's this thing called? Yeah, the project one
Mm-hmm.
is on June 3rd, they just have you paying May's salaries, right? That's the nature of it. So there's no worrying about any salaries incurred between um
Right. So this
so
is just purely between salaries payable and cash
right,
and debit credit respectively. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So let me see.
Cool.
I mean, I might be breaking some kind of law here, but like, is that sharing my Excel workbook there?
Yeah.
So like I got the key right here. So everybody's like, whoa, take that down. Um, so yeah, we're debiting salaries payable. So what we're really saying is I'm spending $120 of cash, and that is to pay off the payable from last month's, salaries. That's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. That answers that question for me. Um, Second question, or Denise, do you have a question?
I have questions, but don't worry. Go ahead and maybe you answer some and we work it out.
Okay. So my next two are kind of a little more on the format side rather than the nature of the beast, so to speak.
Okay.
In the worksheet on column E for project one, that's for the is that for the letter references for the adjustments?
So no, so column E
Column E.
is, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So column E is just the amounts of the adjustments.
Let me bring mine up so I can see. I'm pretty sure it was column E. Give me 1 second. So it's the much skinnier column that's in between the adjusted blah blah blah, between the unadjusted trial balance and the adjustments.
Okay. I'm not seeing that. Hold on, let me pull up. I'm looking at the key. Let me pull up what the actual worksheet that you guys get so that I'm not, you know what I mean? So maybe that's
Yeah.
causing me problems as I'm looking at where are you at? Give me a second.
Yep.
Project one, there it is. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, so that is, you don't have to put anything in there.
So there's nothing that's supposed to go there.
No,
That's just
I
a
think it's
column
there
that-
to give you a buffer.
Okay.
So
All right,
let me
so
let me
nothing-
share my
nothing
screen and
goes
make
there.
sure yeah, nothing's required there. A lot of this stuff's interesting. Like they still have us doing like, like references and stuff, posting references and that. And it's like, nobody
Mhm.
does that anymore because computers do it all for us, right? I don't need to
Yeah.
tell you what page it's on. You're just going to click on if you're in the journal and you want to see the ledger, you'll just click on it and it will go to the ledger. And so
And that was,
you're talking about like this column right here, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just like, what
Nothing
is the
goes
column
there.
for? I was like, I was thinking it might have been because I know at some point we were talking about with the adjustments whenever you're referencing them, there's like a reference letter that's supposed to go with them.
Right.
But
Not necessary.
not necessary. All right. And then
Yeah,
I guess speaking also about the post references, so we're just supposed to be for them that we're just using the abbreviations of JJE for June journal entries, JAJE for June adjusted journal entries, and I think the other one was JCE. Or do you want us to use what's actually like the little abbreviations they have?
You
by
mean when you
section?
do in the ledger here?
Is
Is that what you mean? So when you take your,
where they are. Yeah, I think it's
in the
yeah,
ledger, they
journal
have this place for the,
yes.
right? And so for accounts, this is somebody else's work, by the way, so don't look at this as far as like, as an example of us. It is not the key, okay?
Yeah.
This is just like, I just opened up one that somebody had sent to me asking for feedback. So yeah, so typically speaking, our adjusting entries, we're just gonna abbreviate with that JAE or JCE for closing entries
Okay.
in the post reference.
Okay.
That's what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yeah, again, in real life,
yeah.
we don't
So
do
I'm
that.
getting those other. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Other than that, I'm feeling pretty good on stuff. That's
Okay, good.
Those are my questions.
Cool. So Denise, what sort of questions did you have?
Okay, it's actually, I think, some on the project that I sent you anyways, but I kind of want to go over just in case. So there was one purchase that was made half in cash and half on the account.
Hey, Denise.
Yes.
Would it bother you if I pulled up the thing you sent me so that we can look at it?
No,
On your,
absolutely no.
because other people are going to be seeing this. It wouldn't bother you if we're looking at your actual
Yeah,
one.
no, absolutely no.
All right.
As long as you know that's probably completely wrong. I'm not that good yet, so.
No, it's called learning, right? We all none of our things are perfect
And
usually
in
when
the
we
rough way.
Yeah, there is harder ways to learn sometimes, but sometimes you just gotta, so let me see. I can find it.
I'm pretty sure it's in the template that I did, yeah.
I'm trying to remember if you had it titled, but I'm being as lazy and not going back to the email. I was just
I
going
used
to,
their own title. I didn't change any title, so
okay,
I don't remember.
okay.
Yeah, I know. Hello. Yeah, you said hello.
All right, I think I got it. So okay,
Yes, there you go. I think it's probably the last one. He basically purchased something in cash and something on the account. It was in the journal entries.
oh, I'm looking at the test review. Dang it, I opened the wrong one. You wanted the project, right?
I actually don't remember. No, I don't think I sent you the project yet. So I think it's right there. I think it's in the exam review, in the
Okay.
journal entries.
All right, give me a minute. I closed it out because I thought, oh wait, I'm in the wrong one.
All right.
That's okay. And it's not your fault that I made a mistake. You don't have to apologize for my stupidity.
I I apologize for everything. So just
All right.
in case.
So in the accounts and then journal entries.
Yes, I think it was the last one. He purchases something, part cash and part in the account.
Okay.
So where is it? Insurance expense. I'm trying to find out which one is it. I mean, if you want to start from the beginning, actually, the first few were actually one of my questions, but no, it's right there. There you go. It was in June 1st. Purchase equipment for $4,200 and $4,250 by paying cash and the rest on the account.
Okay.
So does it make sense? Like, is it kind of correct? I will put it in. Should I have cash explanation, then account payable explanation?
No, that's fine. So
That's
you know,
fine.
so you know, if I were looking at this journal entry, even without seeing what you had put as a note, I would know that what you had done is that you purchased cash, you'd paid $750. I mean, you'd purchased equipment, you'd paid $750 cash, and paid another $3,500 in accounts payable, meaning you will be paying for that in the future. So that's a clear entry. And so this just makes it even clearer. Or you said supplies, you'd say purchased equipment.
Okay. I don't have to write equipment 750 paid cash and then 750 cash, or
No, and
That's-
so that would actually be, some people do that where they'll like debit equipment 750 and then cash 750 and then debit equipment 3,500 and then credit accounts payable 3,500, and that is a completely unnecessary additional step.
Okay.
So much so that a lot of teachers would mark it wrong, but I don't think it's wrong. I mean, it either way gets the accounts to the right balance, but this is the preferred way to do. This is called a compound entry where you have more than two accounts being impacted.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very clear what you're doing there. You're paying cash for $750 and we'll pay $3,500 later for the purchase of $4,250 worth of equipment. So that's good.
Okay, perfect. And then there was one entry that says he pays for his own rent. Let me see. He pays, there you go, from his checking account. It was August 1st.
Okay.
He pays for his own personal rent from his checking account.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that it makes sense, because it doesn't have anything to do with the business, right? It doesn't use any drawings.
Right. So I'd have to read the actual. Is it saying he's paying for his own personal rent?
Yeah, it says paid his personal rent from his personal checking account.
Right. So here you would just say, instead of doing this, I would just have this as no journal entry required.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a personal expense. It's not a business expense. He would only be recording business expenses here.
Okay. Perfect. So
And
I
you
can
could
just do
even,
no journal entry.
yeah, you could, in real life, there would just be nothing. You just wouldn't, but
yeah.
you could put a little note saying, I'm not doing a journal entry because this is a personal expense, not a business expense.
Okay. Yeah, and it wasn't using any of the money. Okay, my last one was in the account cycles. No, I think it's in the under accounts, where we have to choose exact. Okay. accumulated depreciation, I put it under assets, but in theory it's not really an asset, it's a contra account.
Right.
Will that be a correct way to do it, or should I just?
No, that's exactly right. So accumulated depreciation is a contra asset, which means it's an asset with a normal balance on the credit side. So it's and these kind of special contra accounts, they always link up with an actual asset account. So if you
Okay.
have equipment, you would have its related contra account, accumulated depreciation equipment. So yeah, that's correct. It's an asset account with a credit, with the normal balance of a credit.
Okay. I think pretty
putting-
much that's all my
And
questions. There
putting a
was
note
another
contra
one.
account was even better. It made sure that everybody knew that you knew what
Okay.
you were doing. Showing your brains.
I just wanted to make sure, I'd like cover. There was another one. I'm trying to remember if it's in the exam review or in the, I think it was always in the exam review. I was trying to do the balance sheet and my assets didn't equal liability and equity. I actually asked the tutor resources and they helped me, but I want to understand why. That didn't make sense because in the notes it says that there is investment of $200 in the month of April. So my original statement of owner equity actually had the investment in it, and that put me over $200. It's right at the hand in the note, right after the adjustment trial balance. It says, note, during April, Aaron invested $200 into the business.
Yeah.
I was calculating that and it just didn't put anything on balance, but like, why wasn't I supposed to put the 200 in there?
Well, you should. It should factor into his capital. Okay. So just also like, I would probably set this up like this, or
Just put everything. Okay.
why is that being done? And then I would put the accumulated depreciation actually I would do, and so I would have it like this. And then,
Okay.
and then this equals, that plus that, the sum of these.
Okay.
I think that's clearer. Like it shows these assets are taken at their full amount, but this one we have to do the book value. We have the cost minus the accumulated depreciation. I don't think the way you did it was wrong. Like I would have still marked it right. But typically when you see balance sheets, they'll have any assets with the depreciation will be kind of listed over here on this left-hand side with their, and usually that accumulated depreciation will be listed like a negative, like that.
Okay. So I will put it in parentheses.
But anyway, so back to your other question. So here, this capital account, so he had a capital of 575, a credit, a 575, and then it says during April, he invested $200 more into the business. And so that's what capital is when the owner puts money into the business. So here, instead of 800, now his capital would be, it would be 575 plus the 200. So that's 775. And then I think do they want us to factor in the additional? Okay, so actually they're going to have, they're going to want us to do it here. So he has a capital of 575. We add the net income. We have the withdrawal by the owner. And then we have the additional 200 that he put in. Again, I would set this up like this: 575 capital at the beginning of the month. Add the net income. 525. That gives us 1,100. Then we'll have a withdrawal of 300 and an addition to capital.
So whenever there is a subtraction, I should just put in negative, correct?
Yeah, except for on the income statement, they never do expenses as negatives. I don't know why. That's just like how it's always been done, and so it's
Okay,
a little
so
confusing.
because that's what I thought I remember. So in the income statement, there is no negative balance, basically.
Yeah, and then we would
Okay.
have.
Well, there can be if you have a net loss.
Okay,
Right,
that's
yeah, if
your
that, yeah, you would have a negative if there was a net loss. That's true. And then this is the capital at the beginning. We add the net income. Actually, that's already been added, huh? Sorry. So we're just say 1,100. So that should be our capital at the end of the month. But now we're somehow off here.
Yeah, that's like I was doing, and I just looked if I was missing something or adding something, and did not. I mean, what the tutoring resources said is like I shouldn't include the 200 because it was already included in the capital. It was already adjusted.
What is this? Oh, this is our adjusted trial
So
balance. Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Whenever I did this, since it's an adjusted trial balance,
It's already been in there.
200 should already be in the 575. So technically speaking, I think if I understood it correctly, 375 is what the capital was in April before the adjustment was
Right.
made.
That's what they're wanting us to do. That makes sense. So they're wanting us to, I guess, make that leap that if we have 575 here, in fact, I know I explained this to somebody sometime during the last week. So, so what they're wanting us to do is recognize we would have 375 up front, and then we would have, owner investment, or however we want to put it, of 200. So we are including it. It's just that they want us to recognize that the fact that this is 575 here means it was 375 at the beginning of the period, and then $200 got added during the period.
Okay. So the correct
like
way, I was doing it correctly. I just didn't do the subtraction there.
Yeah, and that's what I did too. The same mistake I made, until sometimes it's like you understand the concept, but you're like, I don't know what they want from me. It takes a minute to figure out what the person who designed the problem is trying to get you to see. And so it can be a little bit frustrating. This equals.
And this is the last thing. You said that we can send you the first part of the project number 1, right, for review if we send it before tomorrow.
The project or the exam? So the exam, for the exam, I'll send you like the exam review. I'll send you the answer key so you can look at it.
Okay.
If you send me the exam review and you say, hey, I've done it, but for the project, the project is due on Saturday. Yeah. So if yes, I'll review it, but what I don't want is a bunch of people dumping it on me Friday and then expecting me to give these really in-depth reviews of it. There's no way I'll be able to get through all of them. But, so maybe I'll maybe I'll go ahead and put something out tonight saying, if you want me to review it and look at it, get it to me by Wednesday for the project, so that I have a little time to look and don't, if I have 40 of them, I can't do a turnaround of 1 hour and, to look through all of them. So did I send you an answer key to the exam review? When
you said you just did, yes. And
okay,
I know
right.
you actually ask everybody to don't send anything later than Wednesday. I was just wondering, should I send it in your inbox? Should I submit it as if I was submitting the homework?
So I prefer if people submit it as if they're submitting homework. I know a lot of people are afraid to do that because they think it's going to like impact their grade, but it's just so much easy. Because what happens if you send it as an email? Now I'm getting people sending exam reviews, wanting me to give feedback on that, and then and it's like, so I have exam reviews and projects, and it's like, it's just so much easier when if you submit it, it comes into that thing, and then I can just review it and send that feedback back to you. So sorry for the long explanation, but recognize I've got like 50 students in the class, and so sometimes if I get inundated with emails, it becomes a little overwhelming to sort out which ones are which and deal with them. Whereas if they're submitted through the project itself, I can then go to the project, click on it, have all the submissions right there, review them, send feedback, and make sure it's set up so that you can resubmit when you're ready. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So we will just be able to resubmit it. It's not gonna do like oh man, I don't know the word in English. Because I know for the homework in the past, I did a second submission, and it kind of just puts together the
No, it won't average
score.
it.
Okay,
It won't.
average. There you go. It won't average. Okay. Awesome. I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay. And Daniel, thanks for that reminder. I had helped someone with it the other day and realized, oh, they're trying to get us to start with 375 and add 200 so that we end with 575. And I had already forgotten that. And so I was kind of blindly probably not helping Denise. So I appreciate your
No, not a problem, because I was looking at it and I was like, did I do it wrong? And I'm like, oh, hang on.
No. Like I said, I just walked someone through it like yesterday or the day before. My brain just decided it was taking a vacation just now or something.
All good.
Anyway, so thank you.
Not a problem.
Any other stuff before we call it a meeting? That was good. I think there's some stuff here that will be valuable for other people if they want to check it out. And hopefully it was a good use of 30 minutes of your time. We good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
I mean, I know I always look at the video review, so I don't know if we want to tell the other student where to find the Zoom link, because like I said, I had an hard time finding it, and I know someone else was looking for it.
Yeah, and I went ahead and posted it as a response to her when you told me that. And the other thing I'll do is I'll just make sure when I do my weekly announcement that I'll put it there with it, so that that'll make it easier. I think what happened is as I was making the weekly announcement from like somewhere, and I was like, oh, what is the Zoom thing? And I just didn't put it, assuming people would know it from the previous one. So I'll just make sure that I put it there on the announcement itself. I'll double check. I thought it was right there in the syllabus too. I'll make sure it's there as well. So we'll have it in multiple places, make it easier to find. So thank you. Are either of you willing to offer a closing prayer?
Sure, I could say it.
Because since you're not battling a baby, right? You can.
Yeah,
it's easier.
I got it easy. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank thee for this day. We thank thee for the blessing of being able to have this wonderful technology in our lives, that we're able to meet across the planet and learn from each other, and have all these resources available to us. And we ask that you'll be able to bless us and guide us so that we'll be able to use our knowledge for good. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks very much. Have a great night and a great week, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.